All right, Brian, a slow first half. You guys got things going in the second half. What was the difference? How were you guys able to pull away in that second?
I think the difference, man, we settled down. Some of us had the first game jitters.
You and I have talked all week personally about how this not only could be the best game of the week, but really of the entire high school football season. I don't know how it's possible, but this game might have really exceeded even those lofty expectations. It's one thing to win a national championship, but it's another to do it in your first year in this sport. Adeline has only been in gymnastics for 1 year. Her coach, Kristen Fisher, says she's never seen anything like it. And trust me, she's seen a lot of good gymnasts.
Wow, that was good. That was awesome.
Yeah, Todd, this is a rivalry that means a lot to people on both sides of the lines at Marshall County and Graves County, but perhaps no more than two longtime assistant coaches. Let me introduce you to coaches Jason and Jared Fight. These two brothers are identical twins. It's tough to spot any differences between these brothers. They both dress nearly identical, and they both coach linemen. The only difference, they coach for rival schools. And as you just heard, this will be Brian Moore's first game against the Salukis this year. He's been a huge difference maker for the Racers as of late. He started the last two games, and will get his third straight start tonight in Carbondale. Olivia Knopfsinger isn't just kicking for Trigg County, she's dominating. She's knocked in 25 of 25 extra points this year. That's good for first in the state of Kentucky. With success like that, it's easy to see why she's fitting in just fine with this Trigg County team. There's big games all over the Local 6 area tonight, including right here in McCracken County with the Mustangs set to take on Murray in just a couple hours. But perhaps the most meaningful game of the night will go down tonight at Fulton County, and that's because the Pilots have faced all kinds of adversity so far this season. Well, if you're a sports fan, you've definitely heard of the PGA Tour, but Marshall County native Quinn Eaton has created a league of his own. The BGA Tour. It's short for Backyard Golf Association, and as you'll find out, it's not to be taken lightly. Nestled in the heart of Marshall County sits Disgusta National Golf Club. It also functions as the backyard of former Murray State golfer Quinn Eaton. In 2014, he hatched an idea to host a golf tournament cleverly named the Disasters. 7 years later, it's truly become a tradition unlike any other.
It's taken seriously because I think the way that it's approached and the way that it's presented is kind of serious. But for the most part, it's just a bunch of people getting together during the summer and having fun.
It feels like the real thing out here, and coming out here and knowing everyone here keeps you pretty comfortable, and it's just a really fun time.
There's palpable tension in the air at Disgusta National this morning, and for good reason. Everyone here competing for this coveted green jacket, but that's not all. Second place award this year, this gorgeous Pelican, but everyone trying to avoid the last place penalty. This prize, a googly-eyed human head. Clearly, the stakes have never been higher.
I don't want last, all right? It's a mockery, you get laughed at. I put every trophy I have on the mantle, all right, and I don't want the googly-eyed mannequin on the mantle.
The cushy treatment found at the Masters is nowhere to be found at the Disasters. The course has no forgiveness. The greens are more like browns, and golf balls go to die inside the thick brush. It's the ultimate test.
You know, most times you play golf, it's like you're in the fairway. We're in the fairway, we're rolling, not here. No, not here at all. The fairways they're a beast. It is insanely challenging. I'm not very good. You go right or left, you're gone. All right, and I find myself doing that a lot.
By the end of the event, it was Eaton who took home the green jacket, forever etching his name into Disasters history and golf immortality.
What's great about putting on the lime green jacket is that it's a heavy coat, and it's in July, or it's June and July usually whenever we play these, so you just start sweating immediately, but it's that sweat that kind of seals it in. It seals in the victory, and so whenever you put on that green jacket, it feels right.
Preston and Maddox Cope were inseparable from the start.
We had a good relationship. We pretty much we liked pretty much everything the same, did everything together pretty much, from baseball to hunting in the woods and playing, fishing, all that.
He idolized him. I mean, to the point where family dinner at a restaurant, he would wait for Preston to order, and he would order what Preston ordered.
Both fans of the St. Louis Cardinals, the game of baseball was a way for the two to bond. But all of that changed on January 23rd, 2018.
all available units, please be around. Mostly County High School. We have an active shooter in the commons area of the high school.
Maddox lost his brother in the Marshall County school shooting.
I sometimes don't feel that he even knew who he was. He idolized Preston so much that he just wanted to be just like him. That he started having to figure out who he was after he lost Preston.
Preston was a sophomore on the Marshall County baseball team, but he never got the opportunity to play on the varsity team. 5 years after his death, his brother is now trying to honor his legacy.
He wanted to honor his brother and to be able to do what his brother didn't get to do, and that's play varsity baseball.
Maddox is now a sophomore at Marshall County and is getting that opportunity this season on the varsity squad.
Just trying to live up to how he played on the baseball field and how he was well respected, and that really motivates me.
It's what motivated Maddox to wear the number 5, the same number that Preston wore as a Marshall. He also plays the same position at second base.
Looking out there, sometimes it's just, it's just a moment, where I can just see Preston out there at times, because
And I know he'd be proud of
he's
it.
very proud.
5 years after the Marshall County shooting, Preston Cope's legacy hasn't been forgotten. Marshall County named its indoor facility and its baseball field in Preston's honor, and now that his brother is now donning the orange and blue, he's found motivation and purpose in honoring his brother's legacy.
When I get in the batter's box, or before I get in the batter's box, I always see the scoreboard, and it makes me feel good that everybody still remembers him by the little stuff like that, and it drives me to try to play my best throughout every game.
Shortly after Preston's death, the Cope family coined the phrase, "Play like Preston." Maddox has worn that reminder on his wrist every day for the last 5 years. It reminds him to make the most of every moment.
It drives me to live every day that I want, how I want, and because you might not be here tomorrow, and just play the game as long as you can and give it all your heart and play your heart out and leave it on the field.
And that's just what he's doing, with his angel in the outfield enjoying a front row seat for it all. Reporting from Marshall County, Blake Sandlin, Local 6 Sports. Well, over the years, Marshall County and Graves County have formed a rivalry that at times has been intense, but it has been a rivalry that has been one-sided, with the Marshalls' last win over the Eagles coming back in 2005. Tonight, the two would renew their rivalry, but this time as district opponents. The Eagles have flipped their season, winning 4 of their last 5 games coming into tonight. Early first quarter, though, it's the Marshalls making a big play. The ball comes loose. Marshalls fall on it. That's Luke Owen there to recover that fumble. Big play from the Marshalls. This game was scoreless into the second quarter. Marshalls going for it. On 4th down, they pick up the first and plenty more. Aiden Dunnigan breaking tackles for a 25-yard gain, but the Marshalls drive would stall out, and that was the story of the night. Yeah, that's right. For Caldwell and Crittenden County, both have had some rocky starts to the season. Caldwell still looking for its first win. Crittenden just 1-2 so far, but with this being a rivalry game, of course, each team could pick up some much-needed momentum going forward. Well, outside of Mayfield and Paducah Tillman, we really didn't know who could challenge to be that 3rd best team in West Kentucky. Trick County has done their part in making that claim. The Wildcats unbeaten at 3-0 and one of the highest scoring offenses in the state. Well, last week, Paducah Tillman kept their unbeaten streak intact as the Blue Tornado ran through district opponent Hopkinsville. In those 5 wins this season, the Blue Tornado averaging those wins by over 25 points. The 4th-ranked Blue Tornado at home hosting Allen County Scottsville tonight. These two meeting for the first time as district opponents after the Blue Tornado moved up to Class 4A. Will pick up in the second quarter, and already a big Tillman lead. Jack James going to go to Joshua Campbell for a big gain down to the Patriots 20, and the Blue Tornado would cash in like they did all night long. James throws it up. Shamari Thomas there to grab it. Dives in for 6, and George Wilson on the sidelines loving it. 42-0 Blue Tornado. 3rd quarter now, DeMarcus Wilson continues where the Blue Tornado picked up in the 3rd. 22 yards there to Allen County Scottsville territory. Paducah Tillman wins big, 42-7 the final.